Hi guys, in this lecture we're going to start modeling our interior, focusing on creating the walls, and this is going to be a simple blocking step. Before we begin, I'm going to activate my shortcuts to make sure you can see them. Perfect, they're already activated. Next, I'll go to File, Import and FBX. If you use this feature often, you can add it to your quick favorites by right-clicking on it and selecting Add to Quick Favorites. This allows you to access it quickly by pressing Q. Now I'll import the FBX file from my project folder. After importing, I see two meshes in the scene. I'll delete the extra one and keep the one we need. This imported object will serve as a scale reference for our proportions. However, the character in this reference mesh is too large compared to the cube, which represents a 2-meter box. I'll scale it down to approximately 1.8 meters, a typical human height. It's always helpful to have a character as a scale reference to ensure proper proportions for elements like doors, windows, and furniture. I've shared the FBX scale reference in the comments, so feel free to download it and use it for your projects. I'll now hide the reference mesh. You can do this by clicking the eye icon in the outliner or pressing H to unhide it later. Press Alt plus H. Next, I'll select the cube and go into edit mode by pressing Tab. If I select everything in the 3D viewport, I notice that not all vertices are selected because the back vertices aren't included. To fix this, I'll enable X-ray mode, the transparent cube icon. With X-ray mode on, I can select all vertices, including the ones behind. Now I'll move the selected vertices along the z-axis using G plus Z. Notice that the orange dot, the object's origin, remains at the bottom center of the cube. This is important because it ensures that any scaling happens from the floor, maintaining proper alignment. If the origin were set to the geometry center, scaling would push the object below the floor. To ensure proper scaling, I'll go to the N panel, press N if it's not visible, and adjust the dimensions. I'll set the X to 10 meters, Y to 16 meters, and Z to 7 meters. Now I'll add some loop cuts to define the walls. Press Ctrl plus R to add a loop cut. Then left click to confirm and right click to center it. I'll add another loop cut for the windows, placing it at around 2 meters from the floor. Next, I'll select all the faces and flip their normals so that the walls are oriented inward. Use Ctrl plus Shift plus N to recalculate the normals and choose whether they should face inward or outward. If you don't see any changes, make sure backface culling is enabled in the viewport shading options. Now I'll switch to vertex selection mode, press 1 and select the vertices for 1/2 of the cube. I'll delete them to prepare for a mirror modifier. Go to the Modifiers tab, add a mirror modifier, and enable mirroring on the X and Y axis. To prevent vertices from separating, activate clipping. For the windows, I'll add more loop cuts using Ctrl+R and adjust their positions with snapping enabled. Set to vertex in the snapping options. After aligning the vertices, I'll select all and use M then by distance to merge any overlapping vertices. Next, I'll insert a face using I and delete it to create a window opening. Thanks to the mirror modifier, the window appears on the opposite side as well. Finally, I'll add a solidify modifier to give the walls some thickness. Set the thickness to 0.04 meters and enable even thickness to prevent issues with uneven geometry. This ensures that light coming from outside is blocked, except through the windows. To wrap up, I'll add a camera to the scene. In object mode, press Shift plus A then camera. Position the camera using Ctrl plus Alt plus 0 to align it with the current view. Enable lock camera to view in the view panel and panel to adjust the camera's position while staying in the camera view. I'll set the focal length to 25 millimeters for a wider field of view. Finally, don't forget to save your work. Press Ctrl+S, name the file, Interior Fox Scene, and save it. That's it for this video. In the next one, we'll start modeling some objects for the scene. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more Blender tutorials. See you next time.